Welcome to Level Up with CMJ. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craftsmaster dice shooting journey. Let's make it yours too. So we're going to continue the green belt session today, guys and gals. So get your dice out, get ready, and let's start practicing. We're going to start off with our dice grips. So we're going to go with 5 dice grips. We're just going to get into our grip and get set up 5 times. So that's 1, 2. If it doesn't feel right, set it back down, get back into it again. 3, 4, and 5. And remember, you can use your pinky here to slide the dice over if you need to. So today we're going to go through our review stuff, and then we'll get into our green belt stuff, and we're going to really focus today on our mechanics, on getting everything down and reviewing some of the stuff we've gone through as far as mechanics goes from the past, different things like that. So today we're doing dice manipulation drills. We're going to alternate every other day. We'll do manipulation drills, and we're going to do something a little bit different with our manipulation drills today. And remember, manipulating the dice, manipulation drills is just, getting your fingers turning the dice, getting the fingers moving, getting the blood flowing. Good morning, George. And so one of the things we're going to do today just to manipulate and get the dice moving is just to manipulate the dice so we can have different numbers showing. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, look for the 4, we'll look for the 5, look for the 6, and we'll go right back down to the 1 again. And all we're doing is we're just trying to identify the numbers fast and more accurately when we're at the table. Again, a lesser amount of time you can spend at the table looking for your dice sets, the better it is. So we're looking for different ways now to, identify where the dice are at, where the numbers are at, so that we can get into your sets faster. And one of the things you can do is, like, when the dice are passed over towards you, you should be able to see at least 2 or 3 of the numbers on each of the dice. So that way when it is passed to you, you can hopefully identify it a little bit faster. So let's go through it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we got 6. Remember, the opposite sides of the dice do add up to 7. So if the 4 is on one side, obviously the 3 is on the other side. So we got looking for 1. That 6 was there. 1. We got 2. And looking for 3. Looking for 4. Looking for 5. And looking for 6. So all we're doing this drill for is just to get the fingers moving, identify the dice, and get into it a little bit smoother. So that's the dice manipulation. Again, we're going to come up with, try to do different manipulation drills each day that we do this type of stuff. And then alternate days we'll be actually getting into dice sets. Now we're going to bring out the barrel dice again. And all we're going to do is just get some warm-up tosses in, try to throw them down to the end of the table straight. We're going to turn on the laser level. And hey, guys, by the way, I had mentioned that I ordered a new laser level, and this is what some of the money from my site is going into. And this is what I ordered. It was about, $16 on Amazon. Took about 2 days to get here, so kind of excited about it. And I'll bring the actual laser level in here, guys, so you can actually see it. It's pretty cool. It has a little tape measure on it. So anyhow, let's set it back up again. I had it all set up, but you can actually see it better on the back wall as well. And the cool little thing is, I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, but it actually leaves a line right down the felt. Let's move this back here so you guys can actually see that line on the felt there. And it actually goes right down to the end of the table. So it's kind of a little neat little tool. And we're going to set it up here again. Right. So we're going to use the barrel dice, and we're going to go 5 tosses. Get into your dice grip, And we're just going to try to get it down to the end of the table, and we're going to try to land it right where that laser light is at. I want to land it to the right a little bit, and that's why we're doing our practices in that. Thanks, George. So some of the things we're going to focus on today, again, we're getting back to some of the basics, guys. When you are in your grip and you're ready to do your toss, I'm trying to teach you guys to start at your beginning here and go forward with the dice. If you do have a backswing, you can do a slight swing. Just make sure that when you do that, you don't go out of line. If you use George's method, he does a 2 count, I believe. And what he does is he goes 1, 2, and then toss. But whichever method you decide to use, make sure that the release is in a straight line down the table. So these are some of the things that you really need to focus on every single time that you're throwing a dice, practicing throwing a dice, and shooting the dice at the table. So let's go one more, and then we'll switch over to the regular dice. Morning, TH. That was a little bit long. Okay, we'll switch over to the regular dice. We'll get 5 throws in with a regular dice. And again, you want to get into your base dice set. For us, it's going to be our 5-4 hardware set. So I got home from work about an hour or so ago, and we have almost 2 inches of snow today. We haven't had much snow here in Wisconsin this year. We had a big storm in November, and we really haven't had much since. A lot of it disappeared actually outside. And last night, within about an hour's time period, we got 2 inches of snow. So that means when I get up from my sleep today, I will be out removing the snow off the sidewalks, or the driveway. It's gonna be a long day, I think, coming up. Let's go 2 more tosses here, guys. And what we're doing is we're throwing them down the table, trying to land it straight in line with the laser level. And not quite as worried about the distance right now because we're gonna be working on the distance a little bit later today. But we are trying to get it down there and trying to keep that energy to a minimal. Try to keep the energy in the dice to a minimal so you're not getting a lot of random rolling at the end. Not getting the dice bouncing all over. Okay. Excuse me. So now we're going to take out the height tool and we'll be reviewing our height throwing of the dice. Again, we're going to keep that laser level working. The height tool is set up so that the string is 56 inches from the ground, and this is for my 12-foot table. Again, we're going to go with the 5-4 hardware set. Actually, we're going to go with the dice, with the barrel dice to start off with. And our goal is just to clear that string. The distance that it's set up right now is supposed to be the optimal position or apex for the dice in order to go up and then back down and come to rest, hitting the table with very little energy in the dice. You want to try to keep, that was terrible. You want to try to keep the dice as flat as you can. Try not to get them rolling. That's one of the benefits with the barrel dice here is we can see if there's a wobble in the dice. We can try to, our goal is to keep it going straight through the air with a slight backspin here. And that one was pretty good. We'll go 2 more. Yeah, just rain today, huh, George? Do you even get snow in Cyprus? And one more, guys. Good. Now we'll go on to the regular dice. And again, guys, this is all review stuff. This is all stuff that we covered in the white, yellow, and orange belt. And this is stuff that we're going to be doing throughout the program. I know that when we start the blue belt, which I'm actually really excited about, we're going to actually set our benchmark in the blue belt, and then we're going to start doing our journey to 5,000 throws during that level. And we'll talk more about it when we get up to that level. But right now, what we're doing is we're just trying to train ourselves to get a consistent throw, to get a consistent landing zone, which we'll do in a little bit, and to make sure that your throw is straight down the table. You have Mount Olympus, which does have snow every year. That's awesome. Top to bottom. Okay, cool. In a couple minutes. That's a pretty big sled you would need to go for that distance in a couple minutes, right? So, okay, one more here, guys. That one looked really good. Although double pitched, which is fine. It's all right. We'll be working on that later on. So we got our height down. We're going to turn the laser level off for the time being. And now we're going to go on to working on decreasing that energy in the dice. And again, I call it the George distance drill. And it's ironic that George is in the chat today. But one of the drills that he came up with is starting in stick left or stick right 3 position, which is right in by the hook here. And we're about 10 inches away from the wall. And all you're going to do is you're going to get into your dice grip and just gently toss the dice over to the wall. And we're trying to get muscle memory down so we can minimize that energy in the dice. In other words, we're trying to find the least amount of energy that we can put into the dice just to get it to the wall so they hit the back wall and then they die right at the bottom of the wall. We're going to go 3 to 10 times at each position. So that was stick right 3. We'll go to stick right 2. And we're going to go a couple times at this position. And what we're doing is we're doing the tosses here, and then we're going to gradually increase the distance. So in theory, what we're trying to do is we're trying to train our body to judge that distance and to be able to adjust and adapt at the table. When you're doing the tosses here, still get into your proper stance, proper dice grip. And that was way hard. We'll do it one more time here. And you want to keep everything the same as you possibly can. The only thing that's changing right now is the distance that you're actually throwing it to the table. We'll go into stick right 1 position. So if you guys want, I showed you the laser level. I'm really happy with it so far. Granted, this is the first day that I'm using it on the live stream. I played around with it a little bit last night. I'll tell you, the cat really likes chasing it around. I have a cat, and I turned it on in the living room of my house, and he saw the light and started chasing it. And my granddaughter also likes chasing it around the house also, so I was having a little bit of fun with it. But I was actually really impressed. We moved over to stick left 1 now. We're going to do the same drill. Just get down to the end of the table, try to get as little amount of energy stored in that dice when it hits the back wall. We're trying to get it close to the back wall. But I was actually impressed with the intensity of the light on how well it worked there. Good morning, Navaldo. That one came up just a little short of the back wall. It landed about 3/4 inches short and they stuck. Neither one of them touched the back wall, which does happen sometimes. Keep in mind that my table is a semi-bouncy table. It's not hard by any means. It's definitely not bouncy. Somewhere halfway in between. So sometimes you get some really weird action on the dice. So we'll go one more time and then we're going to move on to the landing zone training. And that one, both of them stuck to the back wall pretty much. The left one took off to the left. So that tells me that it landed on the right corner. So the dice are not exactly square when they landed. So we're going to turn that laser level back on. And we're going to lay the target down. We're going to go with the 6-inch target again. We got today and tomorrow for the 6-inch target. And then next week, when I do the live streaming, we're going to try to minimize or go down to the 4.5-inch target. So we have the target about an inch or inch and a half from the back wall, the edge of it is. And we have got the barrel dice to start off with. So again, we're just looking for the landing zone. We're going to go 20 to 50 throws, not today, but you would, when you're doing your practice, you go 20 to 50 throws with that barrel dice. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get it so it lands on that target and it bounces up in line with the laser level on the back wall. Now keep in mind, when I throw without the height tool, I don't throw quite as high as I was with the height tool. But what I do is I reduce the swing or the speed of the dice slightly. And that's another way that we can take some of the energy out of the dice. One is by using the height tool and getting to the optimal height. The second way is throwing the dice a little bit slower. And that was a nice one. It landed right on the target. Can't hit the back wall and went right back on that target. I'll go one more and then we'll switch over to the regular dice. Again, when you're doing your training, guys, you want to do 20 to 50 minimal with the barrel dice. And then we go over to the regular dice and you do 20 to 50 minimal with that as well. Again, today we're concentrating on the basics, on the basics of our throw. So you're going to concentrate on your breathing techniques. Concentrate on your stance, making sure that the right foot is back if you're shooting from stick left position. Make sure that you're breathing out, hold your breath slightly, and then you would toss the dice. Make sure that you have a good dice grip. The dice are tight together and they're square. If you're using the 3-finger par grip, making sure that they're square on the table in line. If you're using the Yuri grip like I do, you can have a slight twist to the dice. Remember that my dice are square when I release, and all I did is I dropped it down. That's the angle on the table that I'm starting from. Again, the starting position is important, but it's not as important as the release position. So again, regular dice, I'm going to try to hit the target, stay in line with the laser level, and I was way long. I went off the edge of the target. So I hit almost at the base of the back wall. So we'll go back to our hardway set. And that was almost on target, just slightly to the left. So hopefully you guys have the dice out and you're doing the practice daily. I do appreciate everybody when they do show up. Both of them landed by the target, came down right back by the target. They split apart slightly in the air. So that tells me that I pushed with the thumb a little bit. Not terribly bad, but they did split some. So that means I need to release the thumb a little bit sooner. So if you guys notice what's happening is I'm getting close to the target here and the dice are not really hitting the back wall that hard. So that's a good position to be in. So that means the speed of my throw is decent. The height is not too bad. That one was terrible. Talk about the goods and the bads come out. So keeps a person humble. So we're going to go through a couple more here, guys, and then we'll wrap her up. Again, I do a lot of my training off camera. I do a lot of the throws off camera. I will go through a certain percentage of them when I'm doing the live streams. And once I start the blue ball, I'm going to go through the majority of my throws on the live streams because we're going to be going through, we're going to be documenting the results of the throws. So that way we can start analyzing what's happening with my throw. And we're going to use the Bone Tracker software package that you can get for free online. And I'll show you guys how to do that. That was really long. Some days you have it, some days you don't. Today I am not consistent, not as consistent as I would like to be. Some of the throws are looking really good, and some of them not so much. That one looked really good. They landed right by target, hit the back wall, came right back down on the target, and we ended up with a 4-2-6, easy 6. So that means we had a single pitch in a dice. There you go. That one looked like the right die crossed over. The left one stayed pretty much put at the end of the back wall. Gonna go through two more throws here, guys. So concentrate on your breathing, concentrate on your stance, concentrate on going forward. You want to have minimal pressure on that dice. You look down towards your target on the wall. And that one, the left die stuck and went backwards. The right die did exactly what it was supposed to do. And as you're doing your throws here, guys, this is where you're going to start training your eyes to watch the dice. So that way later on in the program, we can start analyzing what's going on and we'll know what the right dice is doing, what the left dice is doing. And to make that easier in different belt levels, we'll use two different color dice for a while. So that we can be sure that what you're seeing is what's actually happening. And that way you can actually record accurate results into Bone Tracker when we start doing that. So last throw here, guys, and then we'll go to our homework corner. Okay. So let's go over to homework corner. We'll go through really quick what we should do during our practice times. So we're going to be practicing today. We're going to start off with our warm-ups and our stretches. You can learn those in the white belt video. And then we're going to go through our dice scripts. We're going to get into our dice script, our preferred dice script 5 times. And then we're going to go over to our manipulation drills. Today we did a manipulation drill where all we're looking for is what the number on the top was. So you're going to go for a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. And however many dice you have, you're just going to repeat that. Do that for about a minute or two. And that's just to get your brain working, get your fingers working, get the blood pumping. Thank you, George. And then also what you're going to do is you're going to go with the laser level, no height tool yet. Get the laser level out, and all you're going to do is do some warm-up tosses. So you're going to use the barrel dice. You're going to do 5 tosses to the end of the table with the barrel dice. And then you're going to go 5 tosses with the regular dice using the 5-4-5-4 hardware set. Then we're going to get the height tool out using the laser level again. We're going to go through 5 tosses with the barrel dice, 5 tosses with our hardware set, our 5-4-5-4 hardware base set. And then we're going to go on to the green belt stuff. Again, we're going to start off with the George distance drill, 3 to 10 throws from each position, and gradually work yourself back to your preferred throwing position. And then we're going to go to our landing zone training. You use the 6-inch target yet, guys. And you're going to start off with the barrel dice, do 20 to 50 throws with the barrel dice, get that distance down, make sure that barrel dice are flying square through the air, and you're hitting that target and the dice are landing close to that back wall. And then we're going to get out the regular dice. Again, we're going to go 20 to 50 throws. And these are minimal throws, guys. If you want to do more, by all means, do more. Anything you can do to help train will help you. The regular dice, we're going to hit that 6-inch target, have them bounce up, hit the back wall, and then we're going to try to get them to land right next to the wall. So we have one more day left of the 6-inch training, and then I'll do some of my own training off camera during the weekend coming up. And then next week, we're going to go over to the 4.5-inch target. When you're doing your landing zone training, guys, keep on thinking this quote: aim small, miss small. So we're aiming for a 6-inch target that's 107 inches away from where you're throwing on a 12-foot table. And we're trying to aim small, so we're aiming for that 6-inch area. So that way, if we do miss, that miss small will be small. So food for thought, guys. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craftsmaster Dice shooting journey. Let's make